Hello viewers, I'm SB and welcome back to Total War Warhammer 3 and the Realm of the Chaos Dwarves, where today we look outward. It's time to really focus on expansion, I think, for the first time since we sort of stabilized our initial province. And definitely one of the ways we're doing that is this. I suppose we should knock out this quest battle, right? This is what I was avoiding doing last episode. So let's just go ahead and get ourselves a Hell Shard amulet. I hope these guns turn out to be functional in the way that I'm hoping that they will be functional. The game still thinks we're going to be on a valiant defeat here, but this kind of doesn't matter because you can't auto-resolve quest battles anyway. So yeah, let's do it. Kadon Bachman and his army of many undead. Casualties will be high. I believe that. No matter the cause, if left unattended, the threat of the undead will grow. Already, vampires and necromancers flock to the horde, eager to take control. The Legion of Asgore must act quickly, and so Drazoth moves to cut the undead down before they can fully assemble their army. Also, remember, we are now in possession of our very much improved Flames of Asgore spell, which we have not seen yet, so this will probably be a good time to test that out, given the masses of enemies I think we're going to be up against here. We've got some bottlenecks to play with, it looks like. The shaky cam is a weird choice. Alright, let's have a look here. So yeah, we have this weird like area that's broken up with all these rocks. Where are my guns? The Iron Demons are actually pretty fast for siege weapons. I'd really love to have them just like set up here facing that way. Let's move. We certainly want our hobgoblins nearby, but I don't think the hobgoblins are the main defensive force for the guns specifically. So let's stretch some dwarves over here. Put some other dwarves over here. We're going to need room for our guns to fire through, and we do have a considerable number of guns. We can negotiate this once everybody gets in position. And it's worth noting that this army will have essentially no ranged units at all. They are going to have to completely commit to charging into us in melee. Oh, right. The Fireglaves are ranged units as well. Get over here. We'll figure it out. Hobgoblins, kind of, I don't know. Get nearby. We'll figure it out. And you can be like right in front of the guns. You can fly. Your position matters a lot less. All right. Wow, he started like way off by himself over there. So some of their incoming units are going to be pretty fast. I'm going to try to interfere with these Black Knights a little bit. Against a lot of armies, it's dangerous to have your flying units just push forward like crazy because obviously you end up running into the possibility that the enemy will shoot you with lots of arrows or whatever. Okay, the monster has run over to this side. What do I want to change, that being the case? I think these I'm pretty happy with these the way they are. I think we might want to have Luktaz come over here and help do damage to the big monster. Yeah, probably. So an Overcast Flames of Asgore is not very large, and it is 17 winds of magic. So we want to be cautious with this. Let's let the enemies form up a little bit more before we go committing any of that. So I guess for the moment, just keep running into position. Okay, apparently that's what those guns do. That's fun. Okay, so here's what I'm thinking right now. Actually, it looks like... because the ground is uneven. I didn't realize how uneven the ground is. We've sort of placed our melee troops into a low space here, so the higher ground blunderbusses can fire over them at the higher ground approaching enemies. That was not my intent, but that works out really well for us. That's actually wonderful. I need you to try to get to like right here. And yeah, I guess we're just waiting for the moment. Let the guns do the guns' thing, and we shall see. So this big scary monster of theirs has essentially no armor. And I think we can definitely just focus the archers on it. I'm going to put them in guard mode so they don't chase. But they'll actually bring it down relatively quickly if they're allowed to just keep firing. The reload time on these Iron Demons, they haven't fired again in quite a while. You can see the Vargulf has fallen apart quickly. Alright, here comes the actual conflict. So we want to have our Lord turn around here and dive into the backside of whatever the most fearsome enemies on this side are. There's some Grave Guard. I mean, obviously the Skeleton Warriors are kind of irrelevant. These Black Knights did a lot of damage on their initial push, but they paid very heavily. I think let's rear charge those guys, and maybe we can soften up while we're doing so. We can soften up this side a little bit. All right, here's hoping that I can lead these Grave Guard effectively. Yeah, wow, that's that's doing some damage, all right. So that's their Necromancer. We're gonna just fold in around them here. You stay focused on executing that Necromancer. It looks like this side has completely shattered. We're probably going to have to withdraw our Infernal Guard with the Great Weapons here. They took a little bit too much direct charge damage. But they've done good work. They've done good work in, you know, blunting the enemy assault. I'm going to have them try to withdraw cleanly here. Skeleton Spearmen, I'm not too worried about. We should have that fully under control. And I might just move these Cutthroats up into their position, rather than trying to use them as flankers. Because that was my initial plan, but it doesn't seem like it's going to be necessary now. And actually, you know what? All of the ranged units, get in on that Necromancer on his big goofy cart. Alright, Trazoth is doing some wonderful damage. We have enemies coming in from over there, like a distant group. Let's make sure we finish this up. Alright, we've got some excellent like flank charging ability in this army. We're doing really well. I might just have them withdraw off the battlefield entirely, honestly. They've done the work, they've received the initial charge, and I think that's really all we can ask of them. And then what we rearrange to take advantage of the high ground here. Just like roll our heavy guns up to like there. Just kind of form a wall. So yeah, let's have these two just throw up the withdraw flag. Just run off the field. You guys get down in the hollow in the ground. We gotta let the rest of the grave guard get killed here, obviously. We can start running the ranged back though. Actually, there they go. They're just dying now. You fall back to a position from which you can perform a flanking maneuver. And we have a little bit of incoming range from this army. I think that was just magic. I don't think that was like, yeah, they don't have any ranged units. That was just spells. So we can just stand and fight these carrion vultures, I'm sure, but there's very little reason to do so. Once our range set up, they're going to absolutely shred these things. Okay, one of them chose to just fully disengage. The other one has been shredded to the point where their leadership is gone and they are falling apart in the air. Rats! Interesting. What are y'all doing? To the shock of absolutely nobody, the army with the guns has a massive advantage against the army that forgot to bring any guns. I think I'm going to just lay down a little bit of pressure magic here. Now that we understand how this works, that it produces like a little no-go area of very high damage, let's just lay it down right there and see what they do about that. Mostly what they do is they run away from it. Getting a little bit of sniping fire from our from our snipe lord, who has just an absurd range. You're gonna shoot at somebody, it would be best to shoot at their priest, but unfortunately their priest is behind a big rock right now. Being mobile only works so much against magic, because you know it is magical. They seem very torn as to how to approach here, and I'm gonna just make use of this as soon as our flames are available again. Just dump one right in the middle of their very slow-moving army. And that spell they're using is not very effective. Alright, trying to roll chariots forward. The chariots are having a difficult go of it, let's say. The lesson here is that you gotta make your moves all at once. Am I allowed to just like Cinder Blast these guys from where I'm standing? Or do I have to move to get clearance? Okay, nice shooting. That landed all right. You can see a lot of their units are losing their binding just because they can't figure out what to do. This AI failure is very embarrassing for them. Well, I guess you better run out of it. Okay. Feeling pretty good about that situation. The Ushabti now, which are very cool units. I was going to say they're going to try to approach and just get gunned down, but apparently they're going to get gunned down running. It's just not very good work, is what it is. Let's have our... Let's use another Flaming Breath while we're here, while we're wandering around. Actually, sorry. Hit the Tomb Guard. That is remarkably ineffective. This, on the other hand, I think is going to probably kill them. Yeah, that's really grim for them. Alright, so they're going to try to attack us from both sides at once with renewed force. I don't love this. This does actually, like, threaten us a little bit. I'm going to bring most of the shooters over here. So we want to be, like, up on this hill, though, right? So something more like that. And then you take up position here. Because, frankly, I don't know if I think these ones will ever actually approach us. But these guys probably will, based on the way they've moved in the past. Right, stay focused on those Ushabti. Now let's see about cutting down the front of this army a tiny bit. So a bunch of Grave Guard with Grave with great weapons. They do have a dragon. That is a necromancer riding an undead dragon, so that's pretty serious. Use the last of my magic here. So you can see we're still generating power, but the majority of it is spent for sure. Oh, they're doing some kind of spooky necromancer magic up here. Try to pin them in place while the shooters do their thing. Right. Back to the skies, back to the skies. So we have some greater threat here from this the divided approach. Definitely is more functional. But there's something about this terrain that these undead just don't seem to be able to figure out. I can definitely see how, from the game's perspective, this would have seemed like a battle we would lose if the if the AI armies were playing a little bit more effectively. Right, I'll try to finish that off. These Vargeists are going to be a real problem. Let's see if we can't pull these two units of ranged back, create an opening for the Fireborn to just sweep in. And now that that guy's down... I do want to reposition. Let's throw a combustible shell up here. And try to focus on the scary monsters. Don't go chasing though. Yeah, if we can break this side down and get our whole force refocused, I think that's the move we have to be going for. We need to all be fighting this side at once. This unit of Ushabti is pretty torn up. We have a Kemrian War Sphinx here, which is pretty much what it sounds like. It's a big obsidian and metal sphinx. It's got a bunch of guys on its back shooting arrows and stuff, and this is a serious problem. And honestly, we have kind of a lot of danger accumulating over here. Here's a Hyro Titan, which has magical eye lasers and stuff. This is where all the danger is. We just got to figure out how to like sort of reapply ourselves to this situation. Actually, it'd be really great if you could just break the Ushabti. Yeah, we kind of just got to finish here. All right, I am going to have the hobgoblins sort of like fold up and in and try to draw attention. Let's see if we can fall back from the War Sphinx. These archers are going to be a lot less effective against the monsters on this side because, as you can see, 105 armor, 95 armor, 90 armor. Most of the big units in this army are made of stone at their very least, and so it's not like shooting into the big fleshy bat monsters. What we can do is try to pick off some of their more vulnerable, like wizards and necrotects and stuff. This necrotect here, not a very impressive little dude by himself, but he keeps all of these living statues running. If we can break him down, it'll reduce their toughness pretty considerably. Please finish killing these enemies quickly. Getting some pretty decent arrow fire in. I am absolutely just like sacrificing those hobgoblins. Okay. Kadai around the corner. These gun troops need to line up on this slightly higher ground like we had them earlier. You should probably join them. And then the Iron Demons are getting pretty close to being out of ammo, and I'm unsure whether the right plan for the Iron Demons is to try to just back up and fire from here, or if we want to try to roll them around this side. I'm going to try this. I'm going to try sending them where the Kadai are going, because they're actually like okay at fighting, especially fighting infantry. Let's try to position them as quickly as we can. And we've regenerated just enough winds of magic for one of these. Just the range, please. All right. Well, let's in on that War Sphinx. There you go. Gunfire can defeat the stone monstrosity, that's for damn sure. Pretty good fire breath. Put the Iron Demons in fully on the Hyro Titan. And yeah, let's go kick a Tomb Scorpion's ass. Tomb Scorpions can be very tricky to fight, as the name suggests. It's a big scorpion statue thing. They have a very frustrating way of fighting where they like submerge in the ground repeatedly, and they spend a lot of time not actually vulnerable. Go eat that priest. Okay, we're getting some decent fire out of the actually, sorry, beat up these Tomb Guard first. The Kadai are going to take some damage here because these Tomb Guard are specialized in fighting units of these types, but we have enough of a numbers advantage here that I think it shouldn't be a big deal. Mostly what we're trying to do is keep the Tomb Guard off of the Iron Demons, which has worked spectacularly so far. These guys are rapidly disincorporating, and we need a little bit more focus from the Firearm Corps again. All right, the Tomb Scorpion's getting worn down. Everybody in on the Hyro Titan, basically. That's the only thing that really still matters. This unit of Chaos Dwarf Warriors is really holding on. But they're probably gonna be dead by the end of the battle. All right, Cutthroats, I try to get back in here and form up. The battle might be over by the time you get back in. Yep, y'all can just withdraw. There you go. That's what you're looking for. Is that our guys screaming? I think it's their guys. No, it's probably our guys. Their guys, I think, are eerily silent on account of not having throats and stuff, you know? All right. That was not an easy battle, in fact. I'm really glad we rebuilt like the way we did. I think that was very valuable composition. But even with like basically all of the massive advantages that our composition afforded us, that was ugly. So what did we kill there? It was just like, honestly, it wasn't even that many of them in total. It was like 2,300. But there were a lot of relatively elite units in there. A lot of Black Knights, a lot of Grave Guard. Drazoth killed over 1,000 between all of his magics and his face charging enemies. Should be some decent XP, I think. And we definitely built up a fair amount of experience on our shooting units as well. The Hobgoblins sadly did not kill all that many units in total, but they did kill that Vargulf, which is a big deal. I think big monsters that don't have a ton of armor on them are in a really rough position with the way that a lot of these game systems work, because it's just so hard to ever get them in a place where they can do damage. If your enemy has any kind of ranged at all, the thing's just going to get torn to pieces. And the lower accuracy rating of like low-level ranged troops or poorly trained ranged troops just doesn't matter against a target that size. So yeah, we're absolutely taking an extra 368 labor. And also, we finished the technology, I guess. Leveled up enough to get some more regiments of renown. But most importantly, I believe, that was a... hell yeah, that was a Hellshard Amulet. 5% damage reduction for the Lord's entire army. Winds of Magic up, and this passive Hellshard Amulet ability that just gives him 10% damage resistance and melee damage reflection. Drazoth seems very, very good at melee. You have to be careful with him. But he really is a wrecking ball once he gets in there. Oh, our flames wasn't even all the way turned up. Now we have the full cost reduction. It'll be even cheaper. And with that, I mean... Ashen, I think Ashen is pretty good, given what we saw there. We definitely want to keep him in melee more, and that's going to help him survive. And weapon strength and physical resistance for his Kadai, sure. This army could use more Kadai. We'll get there, eventually. Alright, basically just heading back to the Black Fortress to rest for a turn or two before we push westward. Max out our reload time reduction, and now we're going to have restock, which is a big deal. We were definitely starting to run a little bit low on ammo there. And what else? We need to pick a research. So we are up in this central military area now. Casualty replenishment rate up for all of our armies. Fantastic. You know, a little bit of medical science. Why not? I know it sounds crazy. Now, probably when we reach Honorel's tomb, we're going to find the elves raising an army right there. But if our read on when they got their armies eliminated is correct, They should be in such an early stage of mustering that they basically have no chance. Or maybe they will simply have nothing at all. Isn't this their last settlement? Maybe they're out of money. Oh no, okay, they have a little army, but it's over there for some reason. Instead of mustering like it should be. Alright, at this point, I kind of think we want to make another factory. I feel like we have... Yeah, we have the raw material income for the most part. Okay, lots of labor. I don't know, maybe I'm wrong about this, but it feels like what we really need is a lot more armaments. Ooh, plus 5% campaign movement range for all armies. Hell yeah. Okay. So for the moment, obviously, we want to focus on the gunsmith line. Okay, this just turns raw materials into gold. Not really that impressive. Armaments. What we need is armaments. Always. Yeah, what the heck are you doing over here? You're bathing in Liliath's blessing? I don't know. They no longer have any land, so there's not going to be much of an army there. Not for very long. There's some real fun stuff going on up in this top box here. Fate of Buna and Purple Sun of Xerius. Extremely serious magical spells. And as you saw there, magic can matter quite a lot. So I would love to get a hold of the Darkhold. What's the darn it. Can't quite get this mouse over tooltip thing to work. There we go. Graves of the Dragons, so +2 uses for all of your Bale Taurus's breath weapons is kind of interesting. This one overall, though, does not seem nearly as important. So let's see here. Crookback Mountain, Mount Greyhag, and the Tower of Grief, which is... Okay, it's further up. Is the next province in front of us. This is a player who actually likes us and who we might be able to maintain trade with. Hell yeah, trade. Trade and also pay me a small amount of money. Alright, and trade agreements are only going to get more valuable over the course of the game. The Disciples of Hashut are also pretty fond of us. Can we get trade going with them? They love that idea. Okay. The Tower of Jar seat reward has given us +1 unit capacity for our Fireborn. And we almost even have the ability to build those. We're getting there. We will have the ability to build those. Yeah, actually, let's take it right now. How much would it be to cap this out? 3,600 as long as Drazoth's around. Okay. We actually have plenty of labor for like the first time ever. Let's jump back in here, heal up for the moment. Do I want to drop something for another Fireborn since I am now allowed to have another Fireborn? I think I'm not going to. We'd have to wait 3 turns before we could start recruiting it anyway, although obviously I could rush this. Yeah, I don't think it's worth it. It's not worth considering. What does this do? More Infernal Castellans and upkeep down for Infernal Guard units. Yeah, you know what? That is probably worth having. Also, I love buildings that only cost gold. Our convoy overseers continue to level up. Doing really excellent work out there. Alright, 2 turns and 5 turns. We could just be cycling stuff, right? Like I could hire Dumitashbaz and run him in Skalf's place. Maybe that's what I should be doing. So we just have stuff running all the time instead of relying on the most elite convoys only. So what I want to do is, again, probably trade gold for something. Gold for labor, gold for raw materials, I think are both pretty reasonable. Yeah, why don't you run out to the Silvered Tower of Sorcerers and just grab us some of this? Because I think we actually have enough labor that we'll be okay now. I will just wait for Kalani Growlish because we waited so long that this is going to be available again in 2 turns. But oh, a new guy gets to take some of these bonuses as well. I didn't actually even look at the differences between the 2 convoy masters there. Oh well, they probably don't matter. So, this player we were thinking about making moves on with Drazoth, and oh, sorry, elves. Nope, never mind. Just kind of running over and saying howdy. Yeah, I guess you may as well, right? We gained a single point of labor. Wait, how did you survive the battle? Okay, we're gonna fix that. Domatashbaz has run into some ogre mercenaries already. Absolutely. Take them on board. We love a large, diverse caravan force. Alright, can we please be well and truly done with you? How did we get 60 labor out of a single elf and an eagle? I guess labor is like very abstracted, and the eagle is able to do a lot of lifting objects. And then at this point, I don't think that there's any particular reason that we'd want Baruch's army down here, right? This whole sort of corner of the map is ours, and then we have friends out on this side. So I guess all that there really is for you to do is run home for a while.
Mino.
You can start moving out. Alright, so this region. You own 2 things in this region, and then there's the Mines of Gorgoth, which might not actually be Skaven owned. They don't have any Skaven corruption on them. And are these your only 2 settlements? They are indeed. Oh, and you currently are... Yeah. We're having a lot of luck here. We're just sort of sweeping in opportunistically and claiming our opponents. Right, we don't have the movement speed to attack you this turn anyway, so we'll just wait. And, like, do I want to just hold off on raw materials and max out the Black Fortress? I kind of think the answer is yes. We'll set up some more mines out here, I think. We don't quite have enough for a good seat at the council table, so we'll handle that next turn. And then from our expanded territory, we can, figure out how we're going to launch a play for the other dwarf artifacts that we need. But I think it'll do us some good to wipe out this other hostile faction nearby and sort of press our borders up against our allies a little bit more cleanly. Please do not enplague that city. Well, looks like greenskins are being a problem for the other Chaos Dwarves. We can step in and probably do something about that. Yep, I think we want to just pick up ammunition up for all of our armies for sure. And this is probably their entire military right now. Tired, wounded, desperate to recover a little bit. Seems like a good moment to jump in. So you are at war with Karak Azul, who wouldn't be on our side anyway, but we might be able to get the Warhost of Zhar to buy us in. Hey, it seems like you're having a problem with these assholes. No, not really. They don't want to buy me into the war. Fine, fine. I'll do it pro bono. Out of the pure good of my heart. Yeah, no, crush them. Hold on, our foundations were beset by something. We're gonna go check that out in a second. This, I think we're turning into an outpost. Your buildings have taken critical damage. Foundations beset. What happened? Okay. Very, very small raw material costs to repair. Yeah, I have no idea why that would have occurred. Let's spend some gold here. That's weird. And it was probably... No, I have no idea. And we believe that the Darkhold belonged to the Skaven last time we were up here. Let's, we can check it again. Let's see if that's still the case. If it is, it's fine, but if not, I want to claim this. Okay, yep. Nope, do not declare war on the Skaven.
Good. To seal bond, I just need to spray my musk on you.
No, I'm good. Thanks, Tretch. I'm alright. Strength rank 48. You are looking a little bit soft. So you own 3 settlements, and it's probably... Yeah, it's these 3, for sure. Alright, that's fine. We'll just not even worry about that. Oh, Drazoth pulled another skill point from somewhere, magically, as it were. Let's grab the other point of Ashstorm. What else do we have up here? So, leadership aura. You know what? For a large flying monster unit, missile resistance is definitely relevant. And our infernal castellan here has hit level 20, which means that he has become immortal through sheer force of will, basically. And when normally killed, the hero will only be wounded instead. Once a hero hits level 20, there is no way for the enemies to permanently remove them from your service anymore. Which is a good deal, because he was just getting really good. Alright, so we should go and scoop up the Tower of Gorgoth as quickly as possible. So this area has a landmark building. Okay, wow, yeah. Trade and cargo capacity seems very solid. Also, a source of marble, which just provides a crazy shit ton of raw materials. That's fun. Not available until we hit rank 3, though. So you can actually only build one normal building here, and I mean, obviously, we're going to want it to be the strip mine. Alright, so I think we're not doing any of that. We are going to dispatch our experienced convoy master here. Kulani Growlish, get out there, and we don't have any gold right now, actually. So what kind of deal do I want to make? We do have armaments. We can send troops out with our armaments and claim things. We actually have like pretty decent armament income at this point. It feels very silly to try to grab gold. I guess we don't have quite as much gold income as we once did. But I might want to just grab a bunch of labor. If we're going to have a new region, bringing in labor, maybe... Gosh, maybe armaments for labor is like barely available. Apparently I can run back to the Haunted Forest. This seems a little strange given that this is my land. But you know what? Sure. Yeah, bringing in over 300 armaments per turn, we can actually afford to do stuff like this a little bit. I definitely want generally to be spending gold on that kind of stuff. We just had some weird timing here. So, one more seat is available. When in own territory, armies get the Dreadquake battery, which is just a bunch of terrifying explosions. That seems fine. Gosh, am I in a position where I would rather just save? No, you know what? Let's grab even more conclave influence income. Try to wrest slightly better control over these upper ranks. I don't know what Clan Rictus is going to get up to from here. Maybe we want to sweep down and grab that unoccupied settlement in this region before they can do it, and then worry about finishing off the overlords of Jarduk. Doing so will probably mean that they get an extra turn or two to muster their army, but I'm just not that worried. Yep, gain cutthroats seems like a good move. +1 unit capacity for Infernal Iron Sworn. That's pretty good. That's a lot of resources that we just saved. So yeah, we'll just move over here and try to grab the mines of Gorgoth before the Skaven can. Because if they take it first, it's going to be a real pain. Do we have a, Yes, we have military access with them. So we will not piss them off by walking across their territory. Alright, so go ahead and do that. This region is building out nicely. 4,500 without Drazoth around. Well, I think it's worth it. We want to have at least one place fully upgraded so we have access to our top tier troops. Let's go ahead and build the strip mine. We are going to need to be accepting labor splits to this region. One of the things that's really nice about only having one labor region is that all of your labor just piles up in the right place. You don't have to pay attention to it at all. Now I might have to think or try a little bit to do things correctly. Who wants that? But I think we've got our economy in a good place. We've got the sorts of all of our important resources actually coming in at reasonable rates now. And I think after we take this province over, I think it is just going to be to war with Grimgor immediately. The overlords are still showing us having essentially no military presence, but they are using their map agents to mess with our convoy. We're probably going to get an... Yeah, I haven't bothered to build any control buildings up here. So we're going to get a little, even with the control thing, a little bit of a rebellion up here. You know what? This is exactly what Nabonahid can do. We're going to stay on this side of the line because I don't want his presence to stop the rebellion from forming, but I want it to form and then I want to immediately put it down.
Stroll.
Okay, we can just walk in here and colonize this as another outpost, I think. +1 capacity for Kadai destroyers. That's neat. So we're going to be able to build a gold mine here, which probably is worthwhile. That's got to be a good thing. Sadly, we're going to have to spend some gold setting up the basics of this place before we can even look at that, though. Yep, I know about the rebellion. We're going to be fine. We probably do want to try to find a spot in the Black Fortress once it's upgraded to build a plus control structure, though. Okay. Yeah, those Skaven, I think, are preparing for a war with us. And their opinion of us is negative and falling. It was going to happen eventually. Okay, Hinder replenishment was performed against our army by this map agent, so we're going to have significantly lowered replenishment. Geez, 20% down for 3 turns. That's fine. Let's just crush this Chaos Rebel Outrising right now before it has a time to do anything. Take them all as labor, although there wasn't a ton of value in that. And I think I'm just going to have you hang out here for a sec. Give the Black Fortress time to gain control for a little while. 4365. Okay. We're almost there. Let's build the basic control structure here. And I think the tower is ours. There's no way these guys have a defense. Yeah, they're hastily assembling an army, but it's not going to be sufficient. Although they have put together some pretty powerful units here. And the tower has a 19-unit garrison, and a lot of those units are real Chaos Dwarves. Actually, this might not be 100% trivial. So I'm absolutely going to pick up the Purple Sun of Xerius first. I just think this spell is super fun to use. Who else has skill points? Our Convoy Overseer. Okay. So do we want to grab weapons depots? Recruit rank up for troops everywhere, leading up to Total War, and yeah, big stat bonuses for all of your characters. Yep, okay. Another fine thing to spend a load of armaments on. We will come and get these forge upgrades, but these very expensive middle techs are awfully good. Alright, let's send out Skalf and his mighty cannons. Once again, we're just sort of out of money. Well, we're not as out of money. What do I want? Raw materials and labor, basically. Not a lot of opportunities to purchase labor, actually. Alright, we'll just go to the Volary with all of our remaining money and just buy whatever you can, I guess. Not terribly impressive. We need to spend some time stockpiling gold here. We've been spending it very, very quickly. War is a lot easier if you never face an opponent who is ready to defend themselves. Just sort of wait till your neighbors are weak and pick them off one by one. We are not going to have such an easy time with Grimgor, I can tell you that right now. So, the best way of dealing with enemy agents running around the map is to train up your own anti-agent agents. We have not really done that. We're going to deal with this in the second best way, which is simply eliminating the factions that own the agents. Okay, yes, twice the amount of mineral wealth than your quota had demanded. What should we do with this sudden windfall? Well, we can have a great feast, which gives us a bunch of chaos corruption everywhere. I don't think we actually need this. Or we can bribe the leaders among our labor force to get plus 10 control in all provinces for 5 turns. That's a no-brainer, I think. That one seems very good. So let's start with damage reduction on all of our characters, I think. Seems like a pretty obvious win. Managed to recruit a few more units of Chaos Dwarves. Gosh, I'm a little worried about this, actually. They were able to put together more force than I was expecting, and I also wasn't really expecting them to have the good, defenses up yet. Do I want to build the gold mine over constructing the raw material building? I think so. The raw material building can go second. We just need a little bit more gold income, more than we need the other thing. And let's go ahead and commit to the building of the Great Tower. Gosh, we need labor. You can burn labor really quickly when you have enough buildings. So am I going to wait for reinforcements? I'm going to try to siege them up right now. They can beat us in a settlement battle. I have no doubt of that. However, I'm less confident that they could ride out into the field and defeat us. I think we might be able to take them under that circumstance. So let's just hang out right outside the walls and try to starve them out. We'll see what they do about this. We'll build some siege towers and stuff while we wait. And at the very least, having them under siege prevents them from recruiting. Even if they push us off, it does interfere. And then, do we still have the ability to upgrade stuff? Okay, yeah, these buildings upgrade with armaments. I probably want the War Machine stuff. The problem here is, as we are now about to gain a couple of slots in the Black Fortress, I'm wondering if I just want to build that stuff in the Black Fortress instead. Well, I don't have room for both of these and also a control building. I guess that's worth noting. So one of these will be like our sole source of the things that it produces for a while at least. Let's make it this. I will build a proper war machine structure in the Black Fortress once we have the room to do so. All right, let's see if they try to push us off. If they are not confident they can win the field battle, then they'll just wait inside their walls and starve, waiting for help that's not coming. If they do attack us, we'll have to back off and come back with our reinforcements, which should only be like a couple of turns of walking. All right, nobody out here hates me enough to eat my convoys. The Mad Spitebacker is a ridiculous name for a hero. Probably pretty descriptive, though. Okay. The auto-resolver would just hand us the field victory. I'm just going to take that. They tried to ride out and stop the siege, and we crushed them. I figured we would. Yeah, we're definitely just taking this as a tower. Thank you. All right, and that has given us control of the region, and I'm just going to throw on the plus control thing right now. That means I don't really know what you're doing. I guess travel over here somewhere, we'll figure it out. So what is the landmark that we're allowed to construct here at the tower? Some volcanic deposits producing a bunch of raw materials and money income. Cool. I am going to get rid of one of these buildings so that we can build that then. I do like having local recruiting for a lot of this stuff. I guess this, we'll demolish this rather than repairing it. And then what is most important to improve? I guess this one? Alright, so we don't really have a lot of labor here. But we also don't have a huge workload. Like this labor will hold. So given the minimal workload, do I maybe want to uncheck this for a minute? We'll just let that work out. Yeah, the Overlords of Sharduk were doomed there. Even if their force had been able to push me off in the field battle, it would only have bought them like 2 turns, and only one of those would have been turns during which they could actually recruit. So they were well and truly screwed. This is the one with the plus movement range thing. Yes, we definitely want to make sure we are pursuing that upgrade as quickly as possible. What else do we want to have here while we are waiting? It turns out you actually can't build an order increasing structure in one of these. I guess we have the patrol routes here already. And once we upgrade these, they'll be order here will be pretty manageable. I mean, for the moment, we have the temporary order buff, obviously. I don't really want to make gold out of raw materials. So I guess we would just build, like... Doesn't make any sense to have one of those. Maybe we don't build anything. Maybe this settlement just never gets a 3rd building. Because it doesn't really need one. And I guess that might be true here as well.
Drazoth.
We're going to give Drazoth 1 turn of friendly settlement replenishment before we move anywhere. And I think what I'm going to do before we move on, let's really master all of the spells we know. The Curse of Hashut, I'm not so sure we're going to grab it right away. We might leave it for a while and go buff up one of these other lines. You have pretty much gotten all of the really important stuff. Okay, you can become immune to psychology. That's probably worthwhile, although, of course, it is worth noting that this unit's never in melee range of anything, ideally. And bonus ammo. Like, the thing is, we've kind of already got all of the skills that really matter as far as buffing up his ranged competence. We can pick up some melee skills, but I don't think they're terribly important. So yeah, you're good right where you are, probably. Next turn, we'll be able to buy another seat in the tower, which is exciting. We have plenty of resources on their way in. So I could burn 1,000 labor and just put us at tier 5 here right away. That would drop us under the labor cap threshold. So we'd be producing raw materials less efficiently from then on for a while. But honestly, maybe it's worth it to start getting the buildings constructed and have access to the better versions of everything. We did finish the drill, which is excellent news. That would finally give me the ability to start recruiting destroyers, which I'm very interested in having more of. You know what? Do it. Alright, +1 unit capacity for the fire glaives is very exciting. So we want to do one of these, and then also probably just a command structure to be sure that we can... What does this do? The Temple of Hashut. +10 Conclave influence, but aside from that, it's really not all that impressive. The Siderator just reduces the raw materials consumed by your buildings. I don't want to have to come back here all the time to fix our order, though. I think we're gonna build the order structure. I think that I am on the right path there, because if we don't, then we're going to have armies getting redirected periodically to deal with rebellions here, and we don't want to be in this area anymore. We want to be getting more productive things done. All right. We're going to have to negotiate for military access with them if we want to be much help with the greenskins. Help is not my major concern. If I want to be able to take stuff from the greenskins. But it is nice that we have this little buffer of well, you know what, we're allowed to move through the servants of the Conclave's land. Maybe we just bring our armies back up and move through here to attack Grimgor. Karak Azorn's right there. Yep, I think that is in fact the plan. You're not going to move this turn, but yeah, that's the move. Okay. Let's run the end of turn sequence here one more time. I think that was a very productive episode. Once again, a huge amount of our success there was basically like reliant on luck, enemies being weak at exactly the moment when we were checking to see if they were weak. Notice these other Chaos Dwarf factions running armies that are reading slightly more powerful than mine. So definitely a thing to be aware of. If they decided to turn on us in force, we'd have a tough time dealing with that. But if we can just make them, you know, somewhat economically dependent on us with good trade routes, we will have less to be concerned about there. Until it becomes clear that we are winning the game, at which point, you know, things will probably turn a little bit. Yep, spent enough turns in March stance to earn ability to move faster, which is always great. And I think with that right there, we're going to end the episode. That's going to be it for us for today. Thank you all so much for watching. I am very pleased with the way this is going. We've got ourselves a really solid economic base now. I'm a little worried that the Skaven might be thinking about turning on us, but if we want to take a second and just deal with that, we can fill in this like middle area of our territory and have like 4 or 5 good functional provinces, which seems pretty strong. And then it's just a matter of sweeping out into the rest of the world and taking everything that should be ours. So come back next time for some of that, and we'll see you then.